drop some information.
All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Manufacturing E-commerce Success Series. I am one of your co-hosts, Damon Pistolka. We've got an awesome guest here today with me and my brother from another mother, Kurt Anderson. Take it away, Kurt.
Hey guys, happy Friday, everybody. This is such a huge day, Damon. Man, I've been just, this is a repeat. We've only had a couple of repeats on our show, and this is one of them right here. So David Mantey from manufacturing.net from Madison, Wisconsin. Happy Friday, my friend. Welcome to the program.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me again. I had a good time last time, so
we had an absolute blast. So guys, I dropped David's LinkedIn profile. I dropped manufacturing.net. And David, I pulled out that wonderful promo video that you did for us back in January. Man, that was a gem. So all of those are in the chat box. Guys, drop your LinkedIn profile, your website. Let us know where you're coming from today. If you're on LinkedIn Live, welcome. Happy Friday. So David, let's just jump right in, man. We're here for manufacturers. We talk about manufacturing e-commerce success. You and I have worked a lot this past year together, having a great time. Share a little bit about what's going on at manufacturing.net, and we're going to dig into the value of trade publications for manufacturers.
Yeah, so last time we basically just kept the conversation around video. We're doing a lot of that right now, and it's really working. But I wanted to talk about the value of trade publications because I think it's one of the lesser known benefits, for people for manufacturers to reach, clients and new customers. I mean, I don't fault anybody for not knowing about it. I mean, when I tell my parents that I still work for a magazine or a trade publication, they still think it's, like Rolling Stone or something you can pick up in the grocery store. But no, I've been in this trade publishing industry for about 15 years now, and I think I'm just starting to understand it.
Just trying to figure it out. And I'll tell you, and we'll just scratch the surface here if you don't mind. We went deep into this last time we were on the program, but you guys took a big leap of faith. I know when you made the transition here from manufacturing.net, can you just talk about that little the team, great entrepreneurial spirit, and just share a little bit about that transition that you guys went through to get where you are today?
Yeah, so it was about 5 years ago. Very soon, it'll be close to 6, I think.
All right.
We were all looking for something new. It kind of all happened at our Christmas party. We all got fired the same day. No,
that sounds like a great Christmas party.
It was. Well, I mean, it wound up being a crazy Christmas party afterwards. No, we were all we were a part of a much larger publishing company. It used to be called Advantage Business Media, transitioned to Advantage Business Marketing. And we were kind of like stuck in a bureaucratic rut, we like to move fast. We like to launch new products. We also like to serve our readership. And we were just kind of getting really hamstrung in our old career. So we had the opportunity to move on. And that's the eloquent way of saying we were all served papers within 12 hours.
Right.
We formed a partnership with ThomasNet to create Industrial Media. We acquired Industrial Equipment News, which is a legacy brand that goes back to 1933. Then 3 years of success with IEN, relaunching it completely digitally. We actually had the opportunity to buy the group that we used to work for because, if you can believe it, they went under. And so we acquired those brands. Now we have a portfolio of 8 different brands that cater to the design, engineering, and manufacturing professional market.
That is awesome. And so you guys have a nice family of brands. I know you have food manufacturing and, as you mentioned, Industrial Equipment News. Talk about the family of brands that fall under your umbrella and what's going on with those there.
Absolutely. So I kind of like to talk about how it goes the entire spectrum, right? We have design and development today, which is specifically for design engineers. Then we have manufacturing.net, which is sort of a bigger picture. Manufacturing.net used to be called like the CNN of manufacturing. It's a news site that caters to a lot of manufacturing professionals. We have industrial maintenance and plant operations, which is specific for MRO professionals, industrial distribution, food manufacturing, manufacturing business technology, which is for IT professionals in the manufacturing industry. And we recently launched a new one, but that one's a little bit, That's a passion project for me.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, hey, now I want to give a shout out, man. We have a bunch of New Yorkers on the program today, Damon. So we've got Val, my buddy Scott Walker in Rochester. I think Gary Woods in Rochester. We got a couple of Rochester folks. We got Dave up in Buffalo. Dan Bigger, don't you feel left out? He left New York and went down to Hilton Head. So, you have your beach and ocean, whatever. So we got our friends at Gen Alpha right in your backyard, David. We have Kevin. We have my dear friend, Chris Harrington, president of Gen Alpha. So let's dig into, I love what you just said there, CNN of manufacturing. And I feel compelled, guys, please connect with David. First off, check out, it's hard to imagine anybody who's not familiar with manufacturing.net. But I love what you're doing. Your team, Anna and Jeff, have been on our program before. They're wonderful. You guys do a weekly podcast, Today in Manufacturing. And what's awesome is you take top stories off of manufacturing.net, and then you're going to talk about them on your podcast. But you're also like, we were talking before the program, you guys are actually doing like news bits on certain topics. Can you share a little bit about what you guys have going on there?
Yeah, so our content strategy is driven a lot digitally by our newsletters. And on our newsletter every day, we have 2 original videos, as well as about like 14 to 20 different news items, new products, and technical information. The program that you're talking about is we do a daily video called either IEN Now or the Manufacturing Minute, depending on whatever brand you're on. And that covers, basically one of the top stories in manufacturing that day. And as I said in the previous time we talked, video just happens to be the most popular thing that we do on our sites. So every week on Friday, we do it live. Typically on Friday, we did it yesterday because I'm here with you guys today. We take the top 5 stories from our website and we do a little bit more of a deeper dive on the podcast as to the implications they're going to have on the industry going forward, as well as our predictions, as well as sometimes we get a little deep into the conspiracy theory and depending on the lack of information with the theory.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to share, Damon, you would have loved this conversation. I think maybe Anna was off and you had another gentleman on with Andy, and you guys were talking about e-commerce and the possibility of buying cars now direct from manufacturer, correct? And I know, Chris, that's music to your ears at Gen Alpha. Damon, you talk about that frequently. Yeah. That was an awesome conversation between the three of you, and you guys were digging deep and where's this going to go? Distribution channels for us as consumers buying cars. And this is a very frequent conversation. We just did a great program webinar with Gen Alpha this week, and that exact conversation came up. I'm a traditional manufacturer. I go through traditional distribution channels and things are getting a little messy. Now what's going on? And I love that conversation you guys had this week about the auto industry.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback. We really, I think we're going to see a lot more of it in the automotive industry. We're seeing companies like Tesla and other upstarts that are just really kind of skirting the traditional dealership business model. And we actually, I found it to be an interesting perspective because, Jeff is more of the traditional, I want to go to a dealership, I want to drive a car, and I want to be happy with it. And Andy's just like, nah, I clicked 5 buttons and I bought a car. It was great. So it's, that's one of the things I like about our editorial staff is that we're also able to give a wide perspective, multiple perspectives on what's going on in the industry.
And again, so before we jump into our deep dive into trade publications, I just want to touch on this one more step. Again, I love when you say conspiracy theories. So you guys do a great job. Anna's just a delight. And you were talking Lockheed Martin just unfortunately closed a plant for one of their helicopter units. Mm-hmm. And so you guys, it was a great article. Anna did a whole piece on it. And then the three of you went into a deep dive and you guys did a lot of research. And you're going from this stat to this stat on, was it justified? Is there growth in helicopters? So, again, you guys do a deep dive and it was really fun, entertaining. And like you said, almost like a newscast on manufacturing.
Yeah, no, it's what we like to do is that, because all of us are kind of, research nerds anyways.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you write a news story, you're just writing the story with the facts that you have at the moment. And with the podcast, what we do is to do a little bit of research, figure out maybe why that plant closed, what kept that plant alive. Yeah. Really we wind up uncovering some incredible stories. This podcast that we have coming out that we shot yesterday for Monday. I don't know if you guys know the story of David Candyman Klein. The guy behind Jelly Belly?
I was that was on my list to bring up to you. So a 39-year-old won a candy plant. Is that what it was?
Yeah. basically they did a Willy Wonka style, like
It was a scavenger hunt.
Where they hid golden tickets in every state. And the last state to find the golden ticket, the guy who found it won a candy factory in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a 4,000 square foot. The guy was in Kokomo, Indiana, a 39-year-old guy, and it was like the founder of Jelly Belly, and so this guy, the winning ticket, he found it like a yard or something, and he pulled it out and he won a factory. So how cool was that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's those kinds of stories that we like to cover to bring people in. With trade publications, it's a home for professionals, right? Everyone that is on our websites are manufacturing professionals, depending on where they're on the spectrum. If they're in food manufacturing, they're in that newsletter, right? And so we bring people in with the stories like the 39-year-old winning a factory. But then once we have them there, we're serving them new product information, which we always find to be the most popular. Whenever we survey our readership, that's what they want. New product information. And we also give them technical articles, best practices sort of stuff. The only thing is that, if you had a newsletter that was titled, top 5 things to do with ERP software, you just don't get the click-through open rate, you don't get the open rate. But if you say 39-year-old wins a factory, and then right under that, you have the top 5 things for ERP software, they both tend to do a lot better.
Okay.
Like you had a great, bottleneck recession in Germany with the supply shortage, and that's such a hot topic with parts and supply chain disruption. I mean, we're talking about it everywhere on LinkedIn. Everybody's bringing it up in every conversation, and so you start thinking, man, this could actually cause a recession. So again, phenomenal topics, great guys. Please check out manufacturing.net. Just a wealth of extremely valuable, helpful, and like you said, entertaining information. Let's dig into the benefits of trade publications. Again, Damon and I, we're not young men anymore, but so digital immigrants, we remember, our trade publications. Talk about why is that print still an important piece of that, of your component, as well as tag teaming it with that digital piece.
Well, we still talk about how much you get out of that print publication. We put a lot of work into it. It goes to a lot of people, like 180,000 people. And we talk about how, you can spend 20 minutes with that publication and still get a lot of new product information, news. Our job is to make it easier, or to make it so manufacturing professionals can do their jobs better. I guess we're going to show some of our IEN shirts as well.
Yeah.
Just reach out afterwards. We'll send anyone that wants one. Just send me your address and we'll send them out. Thanks for attending. So it is what we did with print was we had a highly engaged, curated audience with a dedicated readership, and we just transitioned that to also find that audience digitally through video and interactive web content. A lot of things that IEN had that we like to bring with all of our other brands is brand loyalty and recognition. With that print product sitting on somebody's desk, they recognize it, and not just because it's enormous. It's still a tablet. But so there is still value in that print product, but we like to pair that with the value that we bring digitally, like having a daily conversation with these people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love. You guys are on the cutting edge. We're again, legacy brand from 1933. So my goodness, flirting with a century-year-old, legacy product, and then you're tag teaming it, doing cutting edge. You do a ton of, like we talked on our last program. Tons of video. We're talking now about how you're really almost become like a little bit of a CNN for manufacturing. Mm-hmm. So talk about, so from a manufacturer, we have folks that are manufacturers on the call. We have marketers. What's the benefit and the value of partnering with folks like, the family brands that you have? What are the benefits there over some of the other online opportunities for marketing?
So ever since IEN became a thing, 1933, people have always been hungry for information on how they can do their job more efficiently. And now it seems like people are hungry for that information, more than ever. So what we do is we like to partner with people to offer things that they don't get on social media. On social media, that you can find your audience, but they're not necessarily in a professional environment. When I'm on Facebook, and I'm getting marketed, like vulgar socks and loud t-shirts and STEM toys that don't work. I mean, they've got me narrowed in. They got my demographic information and they know what I'm going to buy. Right. But, it's not professional editing software. I'm getting served ads from like a transcription service to help me do my editing job a little bit better. And I'm like, this is not the place for that. Right. The other thing that we've heard a lot is like, or we haven't heard it as much lately, is people that, simply invest marketing dollars in Google. And it's just, we like to say that because of us, people already know what they're looking for when they go to a search engine. Right. And it's because of that exposure that you've had elsewhere. So we like to say that if you spend 20 minutes a day with us, it's like you could spend 20 minutes a day on social media, 20 minutes a day surfing the internet, but you'll get more value out of 20 minutes with us than you will with the other two combined.
Right. It's right. And that's a fantastic point where it's just so noisy, and again, Google's a critical marketing tool for many companies, social media, obviously. However, with what you're saying is it's a captive audience where, like food manufacturing. Well, if I'm manufacturing a food product, like I'm in the right place. Equipment news, I'm in the right place. So, so when we do our training sessions, we talk about, that ideal buyer, Scott, Gary, anybody on the call here that's gone through our training, we call them our soulmates, so like your soulmates are hanging out and reading these publications. Go ahead, David.
And they're on there too. I mean, this is the people that are looking at manufacturing.net or your printed publications. I mean, I can remember when I got them, I looked through these things as a manufacturing engineer to figure out, is there an idea in here that can help me, have the next great thing that we're going to do? Or is there a product in here we should really be trying in our company to help us go forward or improve what we're doing? And I think that's the real thing for, if you're in the industrial space and not working with someone like you guys that have multiple platforms, multiple ways that you can touch somebody with your message, with your products, whatever it is, you're missing out because as you said, you alluded to, with people coming to manufacturing.net, they are there for a purpose. It is talking about something, and they're seeking information in manufacturing. And if you're in that space, you should be there.
Yeah. I guess I kind of talked around your previous question, Kurt, where like how people really benefit. And it's not just our trade publications. There are trade publications for everything. I mean, there are boutique locksmith trade publications out there, that go to a very niche audience. But we have, the way we help some customers. So say we have component suppliers that are looking to reach specifically aerospace manufacturers. And so we can identify the people in that industry and target them with their message. We have people that sell tax software specific to manufacturers, bearings that go in specific machines, machines that are built for specific industries, whether they be for food and beverage or the cannabis industry. I mean, one of the people that we've talked about previously was the person you've worked with at Voice Express, trying to find other toy manufacturers that he can get that little speaker embedded in, it's in trade publications are such a good and unknown way to find a captive and very relevant audience rather than just kind of spraying it into the ether.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic point. And we got to give a shout out. John from Jersey's on the show from Obtessa. John, happy Friday, brother. And I want to give a shout out to Val, our dear friend Val at Monofrax. He just put out, I've had, so David, I've had the honor, I've had a couple articles. I think probably other folks either on this show or folks that are in our LinkedIn network. Sam Gupta, he's going to be our guest next Friday. He's contributed. Greg Mishu. Val just put out an awesome article, and a little bit out of her wheelhouse, comfort zone. And Val, you did an awesome job. If you want to, put that in the chat box. But again, guys, it's an opportunity. So again, anybody that's come to our training, Scott, Gary, Val, when we talk about, let's talk about backlinks, right? We talk about that quality backlink juice, teaming up with somebody like David Mantey, manufacturing.net, and his family brand of products. You can put out, you're always looking for quality content, right, David?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It is. And I don't want it to sound like it's an ad message, right? Because I'm on the editorial side. I'm looking to partner with thought leaders that, whether or not it's a blog post about something that they're experiencing generally in the industry, or if they want to do a very specific case study, our readership comes to us because they want to see how people are doing it well,
Yeah.
and how they can replicate that or even improve upon that. So we're always looking for contributors. And I mean, I know, Kurt, I still got to edit the one that you just sent me. It's going up on Monday. It's going up on Monday. But you're right. Like Sam, Chris, I mean, have contributed really good content that not only helps serve our readers, but also, you know, provides links to their sites and gives them a little bit of a thought leadership piece as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's so let's take it. Let's get down and dirty, David. Let's like, it's you know, I always like to say, you know, it's around lunchtime, Chris, you know, when we did your program, we're like, hey, let's savor some of this information right now. So let's talk about the ROI. You know, everybody, hey, this is great. You can do this, da, da, da. And we're talking about the benefits. Let's talk about the ROI of partnering, digging deep into like trade pubs as a strategic play for manufacturers.
Right. So the biggest pain point for any marketer is the ROI. And so what you want when you find a trade publication partner is you want transparency and you want the metrics that can back it up.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you have the right audience. Like we said before, if you're manufacturing a machine that can only be used in food and beverage, why send it to 100,000 people that aren't in that industry? You know, you want to make sure also you want to get guaranteed results. You know, a lot of times people will just say, we sent it out to a list of 20,000. I feel like some read it. Felt good to me. But like, you want to be able to back that up with data. And there's so much data available now that you can, before a campaign, even guarantee results. And then it can be backed up by those stats. I mean, that way it kind of takes all the mystery out of those campaigns. When you're signing a contract to run a campaign, sometimes you don't even know how you're going to justify it to your boss. Whereas when you have guaranteed results, it's just like, hey, I know I'm going to get a document and just forward it over.
Right.
Like, and that's one of the things that drives our company being like very stat and analytic. We like to back everything up. You know, mostly, I mean, and part of it is selfish. It's because I want to know exactly how many people are reading and watching my stuff and for how long. Right. And figure out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, if we were to, you know, I always use the expression like, you know, hey, you know, we call, you know, those, that buyer persona, your avatar, again, we call them those soulmates. If your buyer soulmate, you know, if I'm like, hey, David, you know, we've got 100 soulmates in the room next to us, man, we'd be all knocking that wall over to get there. And again, like you're saying, you know, so like, you know, Val just dropped her awesome article about, you know, very specific, very niche product that she offers. Again, food manufacturing. You have the business manufacturing technology. I think is that your newer?
Yeah, manufacturing business technology. No, the new one is cannabis equipment news. But we can talk about that later.
Okay, we'll talk. Well, it is almost happy hour here in so. But you know, as you're digging into these specific niche that's speaking to that ideal buyer, those soulmates. So again, you're resonating, you're hanging out, you're communicating, you're engaging, and that I love what you're saying. I like to dig into a little deeper. If this is new to folks, and again, Val just dropped her article in. If this is new for any of you guys, Scott, Van, you know, if you want to, you know, put out a nice article and get it into your trade publication, you're building that expertise, that authority, that trust. Google's looking for that. Your buyers are looking for that. And again, by partnering with you, you just enhance that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's, I mean, depending on, some of the more broader interest stuff, I mean, it can you're going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. It's one thing that is difficult is, you know, you have to reach out. You have to identify the editorial staffs, reach out to them, and sort of, you know, have a good idea. Like, I want to write about this. I should write about this because I'm an authority in this, and this is what I want to have it by. It's I hate to say it, but like, there's a lot of noise out there right now, and so establishing relationships beyond the email inbox, like on LinkedIn, that really goes a long way with kind of like creating an editorial partnership.
Right. Exactly. And this, so my friend in Rochester, Scott, so they have a great company, Wax Energy. So again, you know, they have this cool cutting edge product, especially if you've invented, you know, for the manufacturers that have that proprietary product, they're not just a custom job shop or a custom manufacturer. If you have that proprietary product, but I don't know what to type or to Google to look for, you know, again, getting into that trade magazine is a great way to educate folks on, you know, how do you crack a market with a new product, we're like, it's not a commodity. I can't type shoes or running shoes and that's going to pop up. If you have a product or solution, partnering with that trade publication can help you move the needle a lot faster. What a great opportunity. Let's talk a little bit about from different brands like crossover. Do you have companies that will like crossover into different different entities that you have?
Oh, absolutely. Like, some of the ones that are on the ends of the spectrum, like industrial distribution or design and development today, some of that stuff is specific to that audience, but food manufacturing, some of that stuff's written for food, but we all eat. So it's of interest to everybody.
Yeah.
Some more right?
Yeah.
We're working on that.
Oh yeah, no. I'd like to say I'm working on it, but I'm going the other way. No. But so there is a lot of crossover. And I don't know. I think one of the things that works well for us is when you're talking about launching a new product or something that people don't know. When you do like sort of even if it's a simple product release, like this is a new product, it will do this like no one has ever done it before, and that's like the initial exposure there. Then maybe we do a product release, and then we write more of a long technical article about it, about how it's used, how it's installed, how it's maintained, something like that. And it's about the ongoing conversation, not just like, all right, we posted the product. We should sell 1 million now.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's a marathon. It takes time. I was on a call this morning with our dear friend, our beloved Allison DeFord, and we were just talking about, sometimes, you're nurturing, planting those seeds, and, all of a sudden somebody knocks on your door and they're like, hey, I've been following your social media, or I've been following your articles that you've been writing in publications, and it's not overnight. It's 6 months, 9 months, a year goes by. Damon, I know in your world, it can be years of planting those seeds. But what you're doing is you're just replicating. It's putting in those reps. Damon and I were big baseball fans. We was, if you guys played sport when you were a kid, how many ground balls did you field over and over? How many fly balls over and over? It's like you just have to keep putting in those reps. It's not going to happen overnight. David, we have a question. My buddy Scott in Rochester, he said, just so I'm clear, manufacturers like us can work with David to post articles on his site. So can you just share a little bit about, take a little step further there, what you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll use your article as an example, Kurt, right? So, teaching manufacturers how to fish. Like we talk about how you serve manufacturers, how we take your perspective and you write basically a thought leadership piece for our readers. And then we kind of continue the conversation from there. So what does Scott's business do?
Awesome. So Scott is he has it's called a window skin. And Scott, type in the chat box on it's so the president of the company, he has a PhD from Cal Berkeley, bachelor's from MIT. The guy's absolutely brilliant. Dr. Ron Wexler. He's invented it's a piece that goes over a window for energy efficiency. Interior mounted window insulation panel. So it's a panel that you can just pop in. So who they're speaking to are like property managers, so say in Madison where you are, say there's a 20-story condo unit or whatever. And so they're going to put in these panels in all their windows.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the story that I would want to tell of Scott's is how the product's made. How the product's made without giving away any of the proprietary information and who it serves. Like why they decided to make a little bit of the story. Part of the reason I got into this was I like the storytelling aspect of it. I like everything from the napkin sketch to how it's made. But what you're probably looking for, Scott, is you want to find trade publications in the commercial building space. So like I used to work with a company that had a publication called like Qualified Remodeler. And that would be the publication that you would want to find the publications that serve these commercial building professionals. And then you would want to contribute an article with them about how and why they would want to use your products and how it will not only improve their buildings, but the lives of the people that live in them or work in them. Yeah. If there's an angle though, where we could use them in manufacturing facilities, we could shoehorn it in.
or distribution or cannabis or any of the other products, right?
That's right.
Those food manufacturers, they have windows. So again, there's a lot. Man, drop the mic on that. Wasn't that good or what, David?
Yeah, it was. I was like laying it right out there.
Right. So again, let's savor that. Let's kind of regurgitate that again. So guys, if you're out there, you each and every single one of you are subject matter experts in some capacity, right? We know something more than somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We kid around like, hey, customers, they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. Why? Because you know something more that they don't. And this is an opportunity for, even if you're like, man, how am I going to type this out? I always say, hey, my 8th grade English teacher, she'd be shocked if she knew that I wrote an article for David Mantey, right? Mm-hmm. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You can talk to text. It doesn't take a lot. Just put out that article piece. We're all passionate about what we do. Share your passion, information, educate, and teach your folks on the benefits of your product. Man, I absolutely love that, David. What do you find are some of the best? I know, like, you guys cover a lot with Tesla, a lot of the bigger, sexier companies. What are some of the other exciting headlines or content topics that you see that really resonate well with your readers?
New technology.
Yep.
Yeah. Anytime they make a robot smaller or a robot without electronics, new technology always does well. But you know what? I talk about how popular new products are, right? So you can create a revolutionary new product, or you could come out with a new pair of pliers. And the new pliers are going to have more clicks every time. We could cover a hand tool, and we could cover ERP software that will help transform a business. But, they're going to buy, everyone wants to read the hand tool thing. Really, outside of the big companies, a lot of the cool new, a lot of the economic stuff was hot earlier this year. Anything COVID related was very hot a year ago. And now anything post-COVID, despite whether or not we're post-COVID, that's very popular.
Right.
And the new tech products, I kind of mentioned case studies and technical articles. Those might not be the most popular thing day to day, but over the long haul, they will be the most popular because they're going to send the most people back for referring traffic and organic search traffic.
Right. And I guess this is more of a question from me for you. Inspiration. People love hearing, the underdog, or say, our friends at Wex Energy. So Scott just dropped a note. Thanks, Dave. This is very helpful. We have a story about the founder, Ron, who went to dozens of contract manufacturers before they found one that was willing to solve the manufacturing problems. A lot of people like hearing that underdog story, those inspiration, hey, I built a better mousetrap in my garage, and then I brought it to market. What did that look like? Because there's another dreamer out there that has an idea in their head. How can I bring that to life? So, do you see a lot of inspiration type stories? Do those resonate with your readers?
Absolutely. Especially with some of the inspirational stuff that I've seen were stories of 3D printed limbs or prosthetics for people.
Yeah.
A lot of the life-changing stuff. There's a lot of inspirational stuff out there. And really that is popular, but it's a sad reality of the business that the happiest story is never going to be as popular as the saddest story. Yeah. But when we do something like a podcast, we always do the top 5 stories of the week. Yep. And then we always do 3 or 4 of the stories that you might have missed, because there are a lot of stories out there that people don't read. But we're just like, hey, you missed this one, but this one's important.
Right.
Yeah.
And Chris, our friend Chris Harrington at Gen Alpha, she just dropped a note. Here's a great new article video about Harley Davidson launching the e-bike.
Yeah.
And Chris, I'm glad you brought that up, because again, as we, our few of our folks here are from our training sessions, and what we love to talk about is, and we can, and I know we need to wrap up. God, David, we could talk all day, and I know you've got kids that we got to get your kids home today, right?
That's fine. The fever's gonna break.
So daycare will take care of it. So we got Des and Caden. So he's a proud father, 2 amazing young men. But I love that you brought up Harley Davidson. Again, as manufacturers, or anything that we're doing in our walk of life, what we love preaching about, and what David here, what he's talking about, think about not only just your customers. We talk about this a lot in our training, our customer's customer. And so, what David's doing is he's trying to help you, satisfy not just your customer, but how can we get to the next step of that customer's customer? And with Harley Davidson, what's great is like, when you think about Harley Davidson, what's their big thing? It's like, it's how they make their customer feel. They've, we could go on a whole thing, and I know I'm being Captain Obvious with Harley Davidson, but my goodness, how do they have a company where people are going to put a tattoo on their body of your logo? What a great thing. But think about, as entrepreneurs and business owners, as we're trying to help our ideal clients, our soulmates, move the needle and achieve their goals. How do we make them feel? Would they? Damon, I don't think anybody's going to put a tattoo of me on. But anyway, but we're certainly trying. So David, let's I know we need to wind down here. I'm going to get back to the table so everybody has a chance to talk to you. Let's wrap up on this. Couple things. How to first, I'm going to drop your LinkedIn profile back in the chat box again.
Okay.
There we go.
Before we do that, also wanted to say, to Scott's point, in case we didn't talk after this, the story about having trouble finding manufacturers or contract manufacturers, that would absolutely be a story that we'd want to tell.
That's awesome. Awesome. So again, guys, for each and every one of you, John, you have an amazing product and service that you deliver. Think about how this could be of value and connect with Dave. Again, with David, we have his LinkedIn profile. We have the website. David, let's take it home. So what are you expecting for fourth quarter? You're on the cutting edge of latest, greatest, all the news. You guys are posting things on what's going on in Europe and Asia. What are you seeing for the fourth quarter? What can we expect, or any surprises, or what are you seeing on the horizon?
I don't see any surprises. I think that I think that a lot of things that we're kind of forecasting already, like I think the supply chain issues that we're experiencing now are only going to, I don't want to say get worse, but we're going to feel the impact of that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's, I'm interested to see how some of the vaccine mandates work with manufacturers or companies that have 100 or more people. Just because anecdotally, people that I've talked to, they don't necessarily want to get vaccinated for themselves or their family, but when a company says they will, they're okay with it. That's a separate conversation. Right. So I think that as we kind of try to stay, get back to business as usual, we're going to have a lot of issues with materials that still kind of stall things. But kind of just got to keep scratching forward, clawing forward.
Absolutely. And our dear buddy, Dan Bigger, man, he's what a dear friend. He had an awesome post this week on LinkedIn. And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, big word, patience.
Yeah.
So I think wonderful thing, if we've learned anything from COVID, is like, hey, we're all in this together. We can work in our basements. We can do things virtual. We can, create amazing, wonderful friendships and relationships. And if supply chain's disrupted, we're going to have to, what's plan B? Let's keep pivoting. Let's keep moving. Just keep charging forward. So, David, what I'd like to do is we'll wrap up on this. I want to give a huge, huge thank you to you. I know. So again, we have our training sessions that we're offering. Huge thank you to you for your support with us, for our folks, manufacturing. So we're trying to help our clients, with e-commerce and make this digital transformation. We want to give a big shout out to your entire crew, Jeffrey, Jeffrey and Anna and everybody else at manufacturing.net. Any parting words that you want to share with us as we close it out?
I think Dan crushed it with patience, and patience not just professionally, but patience personally.
Yeah.
Everyone's in such a rush to get back to normal, and patience is going to do everybody a lot of good.
Yeah.
Patience, full kindness, and again, we'll just give it our best. So, David,
right.
Again, appreciate your friendship. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for what you do for the manufacturing community. Again, we like to say our manufacturers are truly the heroes of our economy. They make, the careers that they build and such enormous opportunities. Manufacturing Day coming next week. Basically, it's a whole month of October. We're talking about putting together a little fun program for you guys. We'll keep you posted there. So, David, I want to thank you for everything. Guys, thank you for joining us today. God bless each and every single one of you. Go out and keep crushing it. Have an awesome weekend. Damon? take it away.
All right. Well, thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Dave. This is awesome having you on, because I tell you what, the manufacturing.net, your publications, your digital work, if people haven't checked it out, they really should. I also want to just thank you for that. And I also want to then talk about Gen Alpha. We got Chris and Kevin in the house, and they're helping us put on our weekly e-commerce training as well. You know, we have that every Wednesday at 3:00 Eastern. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can just contact Kurt or look at his or my LinkedIn. We can show you that. You can come in and enjoy that and see what you like about that. But just wanted to give them a quick shout out as well. If you've been listening on LinkedIn Live, you can join us here every week on Friday, same time, same two,
132.
Yeah, same two people on the screen. You get your opinion from whether you like it or not. But we're here with great guests like David every week, talking about manufacturing and other things that are important to the manufacturing industry. So we just love to be able to do this. Thanks so much for listening to us here on LinkedIn. You can join us on Remo if you want, and then you can actually talk to the speakers as well. We're going back